morning, everyone. Happy St. Patrick's Day. It's usually a day where I find some sort of joke to play on somebody, and today it just has not happened. Not sure if it will or not, but anyhow, I am part Irish, so this is a holiday that does kind of pertain to me, and my dad was Irish and his grandpa came over from Ireland, so it's pretty cool. Anyhow, if you haven't seen the videos leading up to this video, which is part 4 of the Who Am I Lapbook Junk Journal Combination Journal book. That was a mouthful. If you haven't seen them, go back and watch. And in part 3, in the description, you will find a link to a PDF file that has all the measurements. Just in case you want to follow along and make one of these, you can go print that off, I believe, and if we have mistakes, we'll correct them as we go along. Like I say, this is my first time doing a combination book like this on my own without directions from somebody else. So it's been fun so far, and I think we're just getting into the creative part of it, the business part and measuring and all of that. Oh, this is for the birds. Would I do it again? Yeah, I'll do it again. It was a challenge, and I accepted the challenge for myself, and it was fun, and shall we see how this goes. So anyhow, I want to go back to I think it was the second video where I showed you a piece of my paper, handmade paper that I've been hoarding, and the pink paper, here it is, that was so hot pink, and I needed to tone it down. And so today I'm going to show you what I did to grunge this paper up a little bit so that I can use a piece of this in this journal. My goal is to eventually use this paper up. It's not doing any good being rolled up in a tube in my cupboard. It needs to get out. So we will use a piece in this one. So let's get to it. Okay, so if you remember right from video 2, we had this hot pink piece of handmade paper that we want to incorporate some of it into our journal. In order to do that, we need to grunge it up a little bit. So here is the glossy side. We have put some clear gesso. I just used the Liquitex clear gesso. Taken some of the shininess away. And now we're going to take some white gesso and we're going to coat this. And that already knocks it down. So, get this coated up real fast for you. And then we're going to take some of our re-inker that is a vintage photo distress ink, and we're going to sprinkle some of that ink on here. My ink is almost dry, so I don't even know that I could get a dropper full out of there, but I'm pretty sure I can get enough sprinkled on there to get what we want to get done. Oh, there was some in my dropper. Okay, so after we get some on there, then we're going to take our coffee spray and we're going to squirt specifically at those drops to make them move around a little bit. This is going to promote quite a bit of ink on our paper. So instead of wasting it, we're going to take a piece of paper. I have some of these freebies that I printed out, and the back side is just white. And we're going to take it and we're going to soak up some of that ink. And then we're going to peel this off and let some of that dry. That is pretty dark on there, so we're going to take another piece and we're going to lay that on there. And then we'll set it aside and let both of them dry, and we'll have 2 coffee stained pieces. You could take more off if you wanted to. I am going to, and we added this right on top of the wet gesso. It moves around a little bit better that way. I'm going to take this and put it in the sun over here on my other table and let that dry. And this is what we're going to come up with. A piece like this. This is all dry. The shininess has gone away. It's dulled down quite a bit. And I have taken my script stamp and my Distress Ink Vintage Photo Ink Pad and went over this with that stamp. Wasn't quite bold enough. I mean, I can see it up close a little bit, but if you didn't know it was there, you probably wouldn't notice. So then I took the India ink and I went back over it so that it was noticeable. I'm going to leave it as it is at this point, and I'll put it in my journal. And then when I work on this page, I'll decide what more I want to do with it. So that's how you grunge up a really shiny piece of paper that you really want to incorporate into your journal, but it's just too bright. Okay, so now we're going to move on to our base for our cover for our lapbook junk journal. So to start with, for this base, we have 3 9 by 12 pieces of cardstock. I don't know the weight of this cardstock, but it's pretty sturdy cardstock. So we have cut them to size, and we're going to take them, and here's one right here. From here to here is one. We're going to take a 1/2 inch overlay and glue this on to the second one. Make sure you only do a 1/2 inch. What I did was I took my ruler and my pencil and I marked a 1/2 inch on this bottom one, so I knew how far to come over with my top one. I glued it down, and then on the next one, I did the same thing. I marked it with my pencil to find where the 1/2 inch was. If you go past the 1/2 inch, then you're going to mess up your measurements and things may not come out right at the end. So we have this part. The next part we're going to do is score all these lines. So in your directions, we will score at 1 inch and then 1 1/4 inch. We will score at 8 inches, 10 1/2. Where are we? 10 1/2 inches, 17 1/4 inches, 20 3/4 inches, 27 1/2, and 28 1/4. I, for me, have done it all from the right to the left, because if I started from the right and went halfway and then started from the left, when I got to the center where they meet, I might be off and then I'd be messed up. So I decided that I'm going to go this way to the right, all the way to the left. And then if it's off a little bit, it's just going to be the cover that's going to be off a little bit, and we can work with that. So then I'm going to take my score lines, and my first one that is at 1 inch, I'm going to fold it to the right, so that it folds back on itself. Fold it to the right. The second one, which is at 1 1/4, I'm also going to fold to the right. The 8 inch one, I want to fold to the left this way. And then the 10 1/2, I'm also going to fold to the left this way. This is going to give us what's going to appear to be like a book cover. Then the 17 1/4, I want to fold. We'll open that back up. I want to fold to the right. And the 20 3/4, I want to fold to the right. So now we're making the cover on the left-hand side. Then we're going to take the 27 1/2 and we're going to fold that to the left, and the 28 1/4 and fold that. We're going to fold it under instead of over. Under to the left. So I guess I had that wrong. We're going to fold it to the right. And then we're going to fold the other one to the right, because we're going back around this way, not around this way. So I need to change that in directions. They're all to the right at this point. Okay, so after we have these all scored, then we're going to take a piece that measures, and this is our first add-on, and it's going to be added onto the top of the spine. This is the 2 1/2 inch spine that I was looking for when I was creating the signatures for my journal. And on top of this spine, which right here on the 8 inch fold, we're going to take this one that measures 9 by 7 1/4. We're going to score it at a 1/2 inch and then at 3/4 of an inch. We're going to fold those under and crease them really well. This makes a 1/4 inch gusset, and all of our glue lines are the 1/2 inch sections here that we are folding under. So we'll take this, we'll apply some glue to that. And I like to use tacky glue on things that are a little bit more porous. It might just be me, I don't know, but I just think that it sticks a little bit better than some of the other ones, except for when my glue is clogged, and then it's not going to stick to anything. But we'll work on it and get it out. Sorry, I should have had this done before. So, apply our glue here. And you don't want to do too much glue or it's going to be oozing out all over. So I just put a coat, a light coat. And then, and again, this is at the 1/2 inch line onto the 8 inch score line over here. Slightly, just ever so slightly to the right, to the left of that line, I want to add this. And I'm going to press it down. Make sure it's all nice and secure. And that adds our first flip out to the top of the journal pages. Will sit in here like this, and this adds our first flip out. Okay, so from there, I'll take my pages out again. Well, maybe it helps to keep them in. From there, that was our first one. We're going to go to the front cover, which is way over to the left. And that is going to be a flip up. So we have a piece that measures 6 1/2 by 9 3/4. We're going to score this time on the 6 1/2 inch edge. On the other piece, we scored on the 9 inch. And we're going to score it at a 1/2 inch, which is our glue section, and a 1/4 of an, well, 3/4 at that point, which is going to be our 1/4 inch gusset. So we'll apply some glue to that. Fun, isn't it, watching somebody else glue a piece of paper together? And we're going to take that right up along the top edge and glue that right along the top edge. Make sure it's down nice and secure. You want it between the score line and the edge of the book. There's just a little bit of a margin between both of them. And so then when you press this up, this 1/4 inch, it should be even with the bottom of your book. When you're gluing it down, you're going to see that it overhangs just a little bit. Then we stand this gusset up, and it should be just even with the bottom of your page. So now we have our flip up on the front cover. I got a little paint on there. It doesn't matter, covering it up. So the middle section here has all these pieces, and these measure, let's see, we're going to cut one at 6 1/2 by 9 3/4. So that is this piece right here, 6 1/2 by 9 3/4. Let me just look at this for a second. Okay, I got ahead of myself. Or actually, I was behind myself. So, forget what I just told you. We are at the middle on A, and we're cutting one at 7 1/4 by 9. So it is 7 1/4 by 9. On the left 9 inch side, we are going to score at a 1/2 inch, and then again at 3/4 of an inch. Same thing. Fold that under and fold both of those, get them nice and firmly pressed. And then let's add some glue to this 1/2 inch piece that we're going to glue down. Now you want to glue this down. Let me show you. We want to take this and fold it under and glue it down so that the page opens to the left. If you do it backwards and it opens to the right, it's not going to fit. You have to do it this way so that it opens to the left. Okay. Let's get some glue on here. Fold that down and put it right to the right of that score line. And that score line should be the 27.5-inch score line that we scored. Okay, and then we're going to press that down firmly, make sure it's nice and secure. Okay, and that's our first piece, and it folds out like this, and it has a 1/4 inch gusset here. Okay, so for our second piece, which is B, we're going to cut one at 7 1/4 by 9. So that is going to be this piece. We're going to score it a 1/2 inch. And let's see. Yes, because we want that gusset again. I was thinking I had it wrong, but no, I have it right. 1/2 inch and 3/4 inch. And then I'm going to glue the 1/2 inch side to A. This was A, this is B. So I've taken, and here you can see my 1/2 inch glue spot, and I've glued that A to B, okay? And then we have another 1/4 inch gusset on this side, which is the right side. So that gets folded down and like that. Now for C, we're going to cut 2 that are 7 by 9, and we're going to score at 1/2 inch, and then we're going to glue that 1/2 inch to B, and the same with C. C to C, C to B, C to C, along the 1/2 inch score line. And then when you fold them, after they're all glued together, you have this nice long strip. Fold to the left, fold to the right. I did that wrong. Fold under, and fold to the left, and fold to the right. Okay, guys, I can do this. There we go. We need it to lay on top. If you lay it on the bottom, it just is not going to fit in there right. It's just going to be kind of bulky. And so what you want to do is you want to fold it to the right, to the left, to the right, this way, to the left. You have your 1/4 inch gusset here and a 1/4 inch gusset here. And you have all these pages. Now, if I haven't totally confused you, I do believe our directions are correct. We have this all glued together now. And this is what it should look like. Of course, it's not being held up here on the inside yet because we don't have our body parts in there. All right, and then we're going to meet again tomorrow, and we're going to have a pocket to put in here. Remember, I said I didn't want to stitch my book into the spine, which is here, which you absolutely can do if you want your book to be permanently in this cover. You can do a pamphlet stitch and stitch it right into this spine. I instead have chosen to make a little pocket here that I can slip my journal down into. I think it would be easier for me to take my journal out and to work on it. I can work in a smaller space. If I have this whole thing in front of me and I'm trying to work on my journal, then I have all of this that's kind of in the way. So that's what I'm going to do, is to make a pocket, maybe. All right, so tomorrow we will be making a pocket, and I'm not sure what else. I'll see where I go with this tonight, and what other add-ons that we're going to add at this point. I do want to say that all these 1/2 inch sections that we glued together, I'm going to go over with my sewing machine. I just want to make sure this does not fall apart. I'm pretty secure in the fact that the glue will hold, but I want to be like 150% 50% sure that this is not going to fall apart. So I'm going to take and I'm going to do some stitching on all of these. Okay, so we'll see you again tomorrow. You have a wonderful day today and happy St. Patrick's Day. Thanks for watching. Bye now.